Okay, I brought you a video on the Russell Brand situation, and I put it to you that the timing of the whole thing seemed a little bit convenient for my liking, because what we found out within the last 24 hours, the online safety bill had been pushed through Parliament, and we've had wall-to-wall coverage of Brand and his antics. And I have to ask myself, does this smell a little bit? Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well. Thank you very much for joining me once again. Good to see you, and as always I appreciate the support. Thank you ever so much. Please make sure all the right buttons are hit. Share the content, hit the like button and hit the notification bell. Keep up to date with everything. Well, I brought you this video about Russell Brand. It looks like I, might have been onto something because there were so many comments. I was a little bit concerned about the timing of the whole thing, and the fact that we had the online safety bill pushed through Parliament. Many comments, many views, and I want to bring out what some of you have said, so here goes. Right, Daniel Riddle, but they will allow a bloke in, should we call it inappropriate dress, on stage in front of a load of the kids and call it a family show and get away with it. Yeah, I know what you mean. Neo, this is the start of digital ID. Ronald Shear, the BBC is a sewer, stop paying the BBC poll tax. I've seen some really questionable tactics from them lately, trying to get people to pay up. Sly Panda, didn't realise I was living in China. Yeah, neither did I. It's going to be interesting what happens next, isn't it? How much can be said, how much can be implied without consequence. I mean, there's certain YouTubers that go very close to the line and cross all the way over it, and you have to wonder, will they still have the same power of freedom of speech that they once had? Venture Life, damn, makes sense now. Pete Devonport, if you give a 10-year-old a smartphone, it's just like giving them the keys to your car. To pretend a politician has control over what a 10-year-old looks at on their smartphone, you'd have to be in cuckoo land. That's right, absolutely right. I mean, the problem is, I worked in IT before I was a cab driver for, 13 years, and I've messed around with computers for most of my life. And I even remember vaguely when the internet in its current form was in its infancy. And over the years, it's quickly ballooned out of all control. Any suggestion that you could control it in its entirety is a complete fallacy, in my view. Kind of enough. Now we are the worst country in the world. It should be called the Online Control Bill. That's what they're going to try and make it, isn't it? Colin Large. This is nothing to do with children. All about controlling you. Never believe anything the government tells you. They don't have your interest at heart. Just do your own research before they take it from you. Yeah, I mean, there's parts in there that are mentioned about protecting children, and, that is admirable if that truly is what the purpose of it all is. But no, I'm afraid I'm not swallowing it, and a lot of people aren't either. Dark Shaman. They're bringing in an internet spy system that the government can read every message and every photo we put up on the net, including Facebook, etc. We'll also be given a digital ID to be able to use the net. They'll be able to see every video we've viewed and comments. Also, they'll see what we have bought and also what people have been earning via the net, etc. We'll be spied on, a bit like the way the Chinese do with their own citizens. There's a lot of evidence to support what you've just said there. Linda Brown, definitely a distraction. Google Prince Andrew, Ukraine. Very interesting, I'll do that. E4K9, Russell Brand literally has 33 tattoos on his wrist. He is literally part of the elites. He's 100% a distraction. B. Nichols, the Patriot Act seemed like a good idea at one time. It's just how these intrusive laws are interpreted that does the damage. Who decides what to allow and what to censor? It's a very good question. Paul Reed, a bit like the Fu-35B that went missing in the USA. That's a huge distraction. Yeah, I follow another YouTuber called Ward Carroll. Go and check him out. He's a retired Rio on the F-14 Tomcats. And he's very, very knowledgeable about all that sort of stuff. And he's done some good coverage on that. There's a lot of questions, I think. Martin Hopkins. This is getting a bit like living in Germany in the 1930s and 40s. Oh, the lefties would go mad if they heard you say that. William Marshall. Smokescreen for stealing free speech. Marky Larky. I love that name. Government censorship. Free speech is gone. J. Cath. Agreed. He's been a good little elite boy and playing his role in the world theatricals to distract the masses from what the cult club are up to. Steve3291. I have been campaigning against this legislation ever since it was proposed. The term harmful is going to be abused by cancel culture freaks. If I want to close your channel, all I have to do is say it's harmful, and YouTube will nuke it because they don't want it to be fined. The legislation makes us worse than China. Scary, that, isn't it? Reeve6912. Watch Tommy Robinson's Panodrama to see how the BBC tried to stitch him up. I watched that. I did. And he turned the tables on him, didn't he? Peter Sloan. Bye-bye free speech. In the Haven Railways, he who controls the information controls the people. That's what the mainstream media try to do. And they're not doing a very good job, are they? Our Reality 1034. Don't be fooled. Brand is part of the gang. Have you forgotten about Katy Perry? He was her controller. He's a shill and always has been. A distraction like all the rest. A money-grabbing who only takes the truth so far before stopping and backpedaling. It's a big club and you ain't in it, says George Carlin. Quite right. Misty Storm. Isn't it strange how every time an actor stroke comedian wakes up and stops being woke, they have all these women suddenly shrieking the R word. Go and check out Absolutely Average, because you can't say words like the R word and SA and things like that without the algorithm going, ooh. He's got a very good anagram. Rash. Work it out. McCaffin. It's all about internet control, overall monitoring of what is said, shared online. Russell Brand issue, part of the play, to justify the new rules. We'll finish with this one. Sergeant Steele, thanks for the report. This is scary. If you think about what it might entail, they make it sound all nice and fuzzy. But I bet it's not. A lot of people are seeing the same thing that I did, or wondering the same thing that I did. Are we all wrong? Are we all right even? It's there's a lot more to this. There is, and I'm sure more will be revealed, as it always is. Anyway, I'm off. I'll see you shortly with one more. Toodaloo.